Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Tuesday, November 3rd. And before we get started today, I've had a number of questions about the little plus marks that you see here on these trend lines. People have kind of been wondering if that's a part of the trading signal or something that we're looking for. And Bill, most recently you asked me about this. I want to bring you up to date on what's going on with that. It is not connected at all to a buy point or to a sell point that we may be looking at. What it is, it's a tool that the software has. And this software that we're using, if you look up here, it's Aspen Graphics is the name of the software program. And what these little plus lines allow us to do, we can position them if you wanted to. Let me get back over here and get back into that. And what it allows you to do is to rotate that trend line around those plus points. So if I click on this one, I can rotate it around the other one. So it's another handy dandy little tool that's built in there to allow someone to do that. To use those points as rotation points, or to move them around to give you that kind of reference so you can see how this market reacts if you wanted to use this for a trend line, for example. And that's not how I'm using them here. I'm really using those as references for a buy and sell point. So I hope that helps a little bit. By the way, for those of you who may be new looking at the videos, what I would suggest is that there's a short free video there that explains some of the things that are going on in these things that you're looking at. I strongly suggest that you take a look at that before you view the videos to give you a feel for some of the concepts that are being presented here. So you may find that helpful. And if you want more information on something like that, then you could look at the foundation course, which is under courses. There's an outline of topics, and you can look at that and see if that's appropriate or if it's something that you're interested in. But definitely look at that intro video. That is an important thing to do. Well, let's get, by the way, Bill, thank you for the email. Now, let's get started. Yesterday, I was really looking for the possibility of these markets giving us some follow through. I still feel the same way. I think this is more bullish than it is bearish. It is at critical levels. I am looking for some follow through in these indices. Now, one of the things that did happen is I tightened up this buy point here for the mid caps, which is we talked about in the advanced video yesterday, and this market went through that level. And so the difference, again, just to give you a feel for how these work, from that sell point down to this buy point, if someone, it was doing that kind of an approach, that was 34 ticks or $3,400 per contract. So $3,400 is the dollar value of that move. And again, I'm just showing you that so you have an idea of what these distances and what they represent from a dollar point of view. But what are we looking for today? Today, I'm looking for these markets to give us some follow through. And again, I said, Monday and Tuesday are going to be important for us. Monday's setting the right tone. Now, we need to see follow through. That's the issue. In fact, that's the issue also in these currencies. We need to see these guys get up and get going. That's one of the issues here. The same thing for the euro, Swissy. For the yen, we're looking for this to back off some. In fact, here's a buy point to that sell point. That was 25 ticks or $312.50. That's the dollar value of that move. So it implies that we're looking for some sellers to come into the yen. We're looking for our friend the Aussie dollar, British pounds, and for the Canadian dollars to firm up. And we want to see it today. And if we don't, it tells us something about the tone of the market overall. Is this level of confidence? I feel that we're looking for a little pushback up. In other words, I'm looking for a weaker dollar, and that's what these imply. And let's take a look at those interest rate markets. Short end of the curve still kind of hanging in there, and in the notes, we see a market that's getting high enough to find some sellers, and in fact, they also went through that sell point, and the difference between this buy point to that sell point. That's a few ticks there. It's 6 ticks. That's $187.50. That's the dollar value of that move. And for the bonds, they also came through that sell point from that buy point. and that would have been 5 ticks or $156.25 is the dollar value of that move. So what are we looking for in the interest rates? We're looking for weakness to come in. We want to see how they behave with respect to these benchmark candles, so that's going to be important too. Very interesting setup. In gold, we were looking for some positive movement here in gold, and actually we saw that in yesterday's action, and we also see it in Asia right now. We can see this market's kind of accelerating along its way. It's behaving properly. We would be looking for strength in these markets. Now here's the thing. By the time our paths cross again, we'd want to see this closing above that 1073, 1074 level. That would be, if you want to look at a textbook idea, that would be ideal. In silver, same issue. Today is the day we need to see some follow through. This is a false sense of security. In other words, this market did trade up here during the session. These buyers did indeed come back into the market. They're just kind of a slippery slope for them as these sellers came back and pushed it back down. Today is the test day. And it looks like Asia right now is trying to set that up, but we need to get that follow through, and the same thing in copper. So interesting setups across the board, really, for all these markets. Crude oil, same type of thing. A brutal day in terms of how it rotated back and forth through these ranges, but we are looking for unchanged to higher in that market. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get some follow through there. This did, from this sell point, from this sell point down to this buy point here, that difference between that is 90 cents or $360 is the dollar value of that move. And what we want to see now, though, is some follow through. Natural gas continues to struggle. This market, again, I think it needs an excuse to do something, and it's just not getting it. Again, when you see these shadows like this, we're expecting to take either side out. It really becomes kind of a 50-50 type trade, although the bias is still dominated by this benchmark candle, and we're seeing that kind of action. So it's behaving properly for a bearish market. And when it comes to the grains, well, we saw these kind of firming up here. Again, they're at critical levels. So that's why yesterday I was talking about the idea of buying the grains, beans and corn and wheat. And you can see we had a little push through those ranges, through those green lines, and that would imply a buying opportunity for us. And in these cases that happen to cooperate a little bit, we're not looking for the same kind of action today, though. We're looking for more of a quiet day for these markets. I don't think it's going to be today that's going to be as critical as it will be tomorrow. Wednesday's action is one that you and I definitely want to monitor. Well, this concludes today's market studies. Hope you found a few ideas helpful, and I'm looking forward to being with you again tomorrow. And in the meantime, take care.